rock, country, couples, movies, and yes, Luke Yost, Charlie Brown once again. He just doesn't escape. Those are the topics on Monday, February 15th, 2021 on the Valentine's Day edition of RMU Extra. What do we have in store today, Luke?
Yeah, Colby Sherwin joins us. He pulled a double shift today talking about Charlie Brown and the worst Valentine's movie of all time. John Hannon is also back with his big board ranking the top 8 love ballads of all time. And Ian Connolly is going to join the show for the first time to discuss some music.
That's pretty interesting. It's going to be a pretty good show, Luke. I'm really looking forward to it. But what is already being dubbed the greatest win of the Pittsburgh Pirates season in 2021 by many across the country, even though they haven't even played a game yet, shortstop turned outfielder Cole Tucker and High School Musical star Vanessa Hudgens made it official on Valentine's Day, announcing that they are dating in separate posts on Instagram. The couple has been rumored to be together since the end of 2020, but it was not made public by either of the 24-year-old baseball player or 32-year-old movie star until Sunday. Hudgens' caption read, quote, "It's you, it's me, it's us," at Cole Tuck. The actress split with Austin Butler in January after dating for nearly 9 years, January of 2020, leading to Tucker making her his Valentine this February.
And this past Saturday, the third movie in the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy debuted on Netflix. The series focuses on main character Laura Jean, played by Lana Condor, in her life of high school after 5 letters addressed to her past crushes get out. And the last movie focuses on Laura and her boyfriend Peter Kavinsky, played by Jonah Centineo. Laura returns home from a family trip to Korea and finishes up her senior year, where she is forced to consider college plans with and without Peter. If this plot sounds familiar, you might recognize it as the plot to High School Musical Part 3. Well, so let's talk about the hottest app probably on the planet right now, TikTok. We haven't touched on TikTok yet in the show.
We haven't.
I've been here for every week, or you've been here for every week. But what are some trends you're seeing on TikTok right now? I know one that we're going to talk about later in the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of this, the regular dancing videos. TikTok, in my opinion, it's an app, as obviously they want to express themselves, and you want to be able just to, have a good time with your friends. We see various dancing videos. We've seen in the past, we've seen videos, people, one of the main characters drinking, riding a skateboard.
He's drinking cranberry juice for all the people who questioned what you just said there.
Yes, I'm not as good of a TikTok expert as you might be, but
I love TikTok. I was big into Vine when it was first around.
Yeah, me
and
too.
So now that TikTok is replaced that, but Vine will always live in the heart forever.
That's for sure. That's for
sure.
TikTok to me, some of these trends, I know one of my friends make a bunch of them. And, the common concept of them basically is I see a lot of sports ones. And, we've seen a lot of them with Tom Brady. We saw Tom Brady tossing the Lombardi Trophy over to Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Braid on the boat as one of the recent TikToks that kind of made their way as a oh no type of video, just in case it's about to fall into the water.
Yeah, and let's move on with our Valentine's Day festivities and talk about some of the fictional couples that we get to see on screen a lot. And let's start with the ultimately bad couple relationships.
Yeah, we've seen some bad ones. We've seen one example from one of my favorite shows, Ross and Rachel from Friends. It's pretty sad because, I root for Ross and Rachel. I love both of them. Ross is such a lovable guy. You don't want to hate Ross, you really don't, even though he has made a lot of mistakes in the past. Same thing with Rachel. Ever since she appeared in her wedding dress in Monica's apartment, at first it was kind of hard to like her just because of that. But when the two have been paired up basically since they were young, and it's really sad to see just the way things transpire with them. It really disappoints me.
Yeah, one that I added to the list, Anakin Skywalker and Padme from Star Wars. Ultimately, a terrible relationship. The whole relationship is predicated on the fact that Anakin is the hotshot Jedi, Padme is the princess, soon-to-be queen, and one moment that sticks out in my mind, all-time bad moment in the relationship, Anakin goes on a evil tirade and kills all of the Padawans, the young Jedis, and he tells Padme, I killed all of them, and she goes, oh, okay, and they have a picnic after, and it's ultimately the downfall of Anakin Skywalker. He turns to the dark side, becomes Darth Vader, and the story goes on from there.
Yeah, and you also brought up Ted and Stella from How I Met Your Mother, another classic show you see here on CBS.
Yeah, the whole storyline of their relationship on the show felt totally rushed. They had that weird 15-second date, whatever it was, and then Stella, towards the end of the relationship, tried to pull Ted out of New York with all of his friends and take him out of the apartment he shared with Marshall and Lily, and she put him in New Jersey, and he hated it, and it was a whole big fiasco. But let's talk about true love on the screen, and maybe a little bit off of the screen. The first one that comes to mind, Chandler and Monica from Friends. We talked about the bad from Friends. This is probably the one true love connection that you just feel through the screen.
100%. Ever since that night in London when those two got together and really started their relationship, you really started to see the chemistry's there, the passion is there. Just seeing that the way that they look at each other on screen is it's just magical. It's that type of Valentine's Day love that you like to see. Also, Jim and Pam from The Office. What a lovable show The Office is. And just the budding romance that was Jim and Pam ever since they met right there on that desk in The Office. 9 seasons later, being married away from the family, away from the whole crew at The Office, but then coming together in celebration at the church and being able to have that big ceremony. That was awesome to see. Just a classic show, The Office is, and what a great relationship.
And one that you added to this list, Tony and Ziva from NCIS. I haven't seen a lot of the show, but I do remember this particular relationship. And again, it's one of those things, you just see the on-screen chemistry. It took a lot of time.
It did.
Tony he did the same thing Jim did, waited his time, bought his time, and finally, scored his girl there.
Right. They have a child together. They're a great couple. We've seen, on NCIS, it's kind of hard, which is the type of show it is, to be able to form that type of relationship and that type of chemistry. Because the way that Gibbs operates in terms of his crew and his team, it's just there's a lot of close calls, but it's more of a family, more so of a budding relationship. But I thought it was pretty interesting the way that NCIS made it out to go, and I think that they did a good job of developing it, and it didn't seem weird. It seemed really natural, those two on camera.
And up next, Colby Sherwin will talk to me about Charlie Brown Valentine's Day Special, and Ian Connolly will be here to discuss Taylor Swift's new album. Stay tuned with us here on RMU Extra's Valentine's Day Special.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Wacha. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to RMU Extra's Valentine's Day Special. Joining me as always on the show is my great dear friend,
Yes.
Colby Sherwin.
Some would say mentor.
Yes.
You are mine, not, yeah.
I really appreciate that, Colby. Colby, and we talk a lot about the same things. See, I'm your mentor.
Yeah.
That's right. We talk a lot about Charlie Brown on this show, and everybody wanted to bring it back. So tell me about Charlie Brown Valentine's Day. I didn't even know there was a special.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be doing Charlie Brown for the 4th time. I think I need a definite break from the guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great dude, but I need a little bit of a break.
Oh, there he is. Right
yeah,
there, out to Valentine's.
Yeah, so in this one, Charlie just wants a Valentine
Yeah.
from anybody, but specifically is this one redhead girl in his class.
Oh.
If you've seen the Peanut movie, which I think came out in like 2013 or something, they actually hit on this beat as well. He just doesn't get it. And it just leads to this really sad moment. But my man Schroeder stands up for Charlie Brown, and I really love that. Snoopy steals the show as always. You know, he's just having a good time. Linus has this moment where he's really upset throwing chocolates. And you just see Snoopy and Woodstock like catching them. It's a good. Yeah.
Charlie Brown's just looking for a Valentine. Aren't we all, Colby?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you recommend that people watch the Valentine's Day special? Did you enjoy it?
I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't
Colby.
say that it was bad.
Okay.
If you like Charlie Brown, you're gonna like this. It's your cookie cutter like Charlie Brown special. It's
Classic. So it's not a classic like the Christmas one
no.
or the Thanksgiving. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is a very good Charlie Brown special.
Yeah, this would be more if you have like a little kid on Valentine's Day, you just want to show them what the holiday's about, you throw this on.
So where would you rank this in terms of the other Charlie Brown specials that we've talked about?
I would say it's the bottom. And then it'd be the Halloween, or Christmas, then Thanksgiving.
So are all the main characters in this story that we typically see in a Charles Schulz classic?
Not really. Honestly, it's Charlie Brown, Lucy, Linus, Schroeder, and Snoopy are really just the main ones in this.
Yep. Anything else special about this episode? Or maybe even not special? What completely stood out other than Charlie Brown looking for a Valentine? I mean, did he have any specific plans? Did he try anything to try to be able to get this Valentine? What did Charlie do to try to be smooth and get a date for Valentine's Day?
He made his own homemade Valentine, and that stood out to me as a kid, or stood out to me because as a kid, that's something I would do. I'd make Valentines, and you know, it's a wholesome thing to watch.
Colby, did you do anything special for Valentine's Day? Because I slept for a couple hours because I was very tired and I watched TV, and that is very sad, but that is what I did.
Well, my parents came out and took me to breakfast on Saturday. I'm going to take my girlfriend out for some Valentine's Day.
That is awesome, Colby. Anything else very special about just Charlie Brown in general? Because we know you love it so much.
I'm going to have to announce here, this is my retirement from talking about Charlie Brown on TV. I apologize, but I've just had too much Charlie Brown in a short amount of time.
Well, you know, Colby, I really appreciate you talking about Charlie Brown so much. You know, you might have to invite him over for dinner sometime, you know, if that's possible.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I have to find a way to do that.
I'll try my best.
Colby, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you calling me your mentor.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you. We're now going to send it over to Luke Yost, who's with Ian Connolly.
Thank you, Austin. We're now going to talk about what we mentioned earlier in the show. Taylor Swift has dropped some new music. Not new music, it's old music, but she reintroduced the world to Love Story, her first big hit that she had. She re-released it to a bunch of fanfare, and she announced she's going to re-release more music. Ian, how do you feel about the new release from Taylor Swift? The old new release from Taylor Swift.
The old new release. I was just pleasantly surprised, especially whenever you just log on and you see that Love Story graphic. There's a lot of promotional stuff that Taylor had on the Spotify app that was pushed to millions and millions of users that I really enjoyed the new mix. There's a lot of more, I feel almost complexities within the vocal track there, and also within the instrumental mix as well.
And again, we mentioned she's gonna re-release old music. What are some songs that, off the top of the head, what are some songs that you know that you want to hear Taylor Swift do again? Whether they're pop songs, whether they're country songs, whether they're songs that weren't big before but could be big now.
Yeah, I think especially obviously you had the Reputation tour that was synonymous and produced so many hits and was very popular. I also very much love the Lover the Lover album, especially with Paper Rings and the actual song Lover in there, especially those ones that are new releases. But when you just look back to Taylor Swift favorites, Love Story is one of them, especially as you're talking about earlier on the show, TikTok. That was especially, you saw a really big bump in popularity there with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's a great point. TikTok really has helped a lot of entertainment people, whether it's music, video, content creativity has spiked on TikTok. But let's stay with Taylor Swift. Do we think that this, re-releasing all of these old songs, mostly her country repertoire, if you will, is that going to lead her back down a path of country music, or are we going to see cowboy hats and cardigans now?
I honestly don't know. Taylor Swift has always been kind of across the board, and especially coming up this April, there's going to be 26 songs released, and 6 new songs that have never been released to the public. That is going to be interesting to see, that we don't know what's going to be coming from Taylor soon.
It's going to be interesting, Ian.
It sure will.
And you're going to be back on the show. What are we going to talk about when you're back on the show?
We're going to be talking all things country music. We're going to be talking Dan and Shay, and the theme of Valentine's Day. It'll be a great time.
Awesome. And next week, we will not be here for the studio concert series brought to you almost not every other Monday night, but a lot of Monday nights this semester. But again, stay with us here on RMU Extra.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
Welcome back to RMU Extra. I'm joined now by our Mel Kiper. I know I made that joke before. John Hanna. John, we have you back ranking the top 8 rock love ballads of all time. Let's start at the bottom. Let's see what number 8 is. I know you had a list of, 38?
Yeah, 38 brought down to a list of 15. Bit difficult to whittle down the top 8, but starting, you said number 8?
Yes.
All right, with one of my favorite bands of all time, When It's Love by Van Halen. Obviously, Van Halen band doing through 2 different lead singers, David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar. I'm partial to Sammy Hagar myself. I know David Lee Roth is more popular, but I love me some Sammy.
Let's go. If you want to lead, let's go.
You want
Let's
me
go
to
number
do-
7,
all right.
John.
I'm going across the border. Everything I do, I do it for you. Bryan Adams.
He's not cold-hearted from Canada.
No, played at the UPMC Event Center, actually.
He did. He was one of the very first acts there after Evanescence.
Yep.
All right, number 6. Let's hit it.
Number 6, band you didn't actually know before the show. You know one of their other songs.
Didn't.
But I'm going with Heaven by Warrant. Obviously, their more well-known song is Cherry Pie.
That's the one I knew, yeah.
Not exactly ballad, but...
It's not exactly a love ballad.
I mean, you can say it's about love in some sense.
Okay, that's neither here nor there.
So, but great song there. Just great to listen to there. Then going to number 6.
We're into the top 5 now, John. This is where the nitty-gritty becomes tougher and tougher. The stakes are high. What's the number 5 rock ballad, love ballad of all time?
We're going up to Boston with a little band called
Beans
Aerosmith.
Oh, psh.
Never
heard of them.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Actually, this wasn't on your list originally, John Hanna. I actually had to ask you to put this on the list because this is my number 1 of all time.
Yeah, I originally had the song, I actually forgot the name of it, but it's by Triumph. Lay It on the Line by Triumph, another Canadian band, but not as well known nearly as I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
All right, number 4, John.
Number 4, REO Speedwagon, I Can't Fight This Feeling.
Anymore. No, it's not. It's just I Can't Fight This Feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, great song choice.
Yes, it is. Excuse the handwriting, obviously.
It's fine. You see mine up there? Yeah, it's not great.
Still better than now. Top 3.
Top 3. This is the best of the best rock ballads of all time. John Hanna,
3.
Don't disappoint me.
Going with some White Snake.
White Snake.
Is This Love?
All right.
Great song. White Snake, underrated hair metal band in my opinion. Have some great songs. Number 2, how can you have a rock ballad without Journey? Faithfully.
Yeah, that's a great one, John Hanna. That's a great pick.
And then finally, number 1.
Number 1 rock ballad song of all time on the official list made by John Hanna. What is it?
From my hometown of Rochester, New York.
Okay, that's okay. Rochester, New York. All right.
Lou Gramm.
That's why.
I Want to Know What Love Is.
Okay, that's a good
by
pick.
Foreigner.
That's honestly a great pick. That's not any like hometown bias. That's not anything like that.
Yeah, just a great song overall. And actually, apart from 2, it's the only, or one of 3 that has love in the title. So, nice mix of rock ballads. And the best part about them, you don't have to just listen to them at Valentine's Day. Perfect all year round.
Thanks for coming on, John. It's always great to see your top 8, top 9, whatever it's going to be number-wise.
Thanks for having me on.
And when we're going to go over now to Austin Bechtold and Ian Connolly for some country music.
Thank you, Luke. Faithfully would be my pick, Ian, but that's just me. I think that probably could have moved number 1, but I like the picks from John Hanna. Thanks for coming on, first and foremost for the second time on the episode today.
Glad to be here.
So, first of all, tell me about some new country music we've seen, especially Dan and Shay's new song.
Dan and Shay, especially just released at the beginning of February, Glad You Exist. And so he really accredits this song to always saying it to his wife over and over again. And in the spirit of love, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. I can really kind of see where he's coming from. And especially with all things country, I always feel a sense of wholesomeness around it, and I just always really appreciated that side of it, and especially in terms of new releases and some of my favorite artists is Carrie Underwood is going to be releasing My Savior on March 26th, along with Eric Church has 2 albums in April, pretty crazy stuff, labeled Heart and Soul. Especially coming up around these Valentine's Day, there's plenty of love songs. I'll talk to John Hanna and we'll see if we can get a top 8 country love songs.
I think that would be a very good idea.
Exactly, yeah.
Are any of those artists your favorite country music artists, or is there someone that you haven't mentioned yet that you really like to listen to just be able to get in the country music type of mood?
Yeah, exactly. I think Dan and Shay are always a pretty big favorite of mine. But another one that I always like to, especially even around the Christmas season and even around here, is actually Blake Shelton in his recent proposal. Is always, especially with that with the duo of Gwen Stefani, is just something that's always just kind of warms the heart.
That's a very good pick. Now, a lot of people, at least me, I can't speak for everyone, but I like to listen to my country music in the summertime. You're sitting outside, you're lounging by the pool, maybe you're at the beach, you're taking a nice drive in the nice heat, warm heat. What type of year I know that was a weird sentence. What type of time period during the year do you like listening to country music? My preference is the summer, but I'm starting to kind of like it even in the winter. How about you?
Exactly. I think especially around the Moon Township area, we've seen a lot of snow in recent days. So especially just trying to get out there and just kind of getting around. Obviously, we're very close to the city of Pittsburgh, and we are nowhere close to the country. Yeah. But especially if you would think to where some of these artists would get their inspiration in the winter, definitely you could be jamming out to some country music.
All right. I like the insight. Ian, thanks for coming on today. First time on Extra.
Yeah, glad to have me on.
We're now going to send it over to the seasoned veteran, Colby Sherwin, alongside my great friend and co-host, Luke Yost.
I'm proud to be your great friend, Austin. But we are starting a new series here at RMU Extra where our good buddy, Colby Sherwin, will watch a poorly rated film in a segment we like to call Colby Watches. It's basically a book club, but for really bad movies. Colby, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. We asked you to watch the Valentine's Day movie that came out a number of years ago. It's no Love Actually.
Yeah, so I would say it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, if I'm being honest. It came out in 2010. I took a couple of notes here. One thing is, it's not funny. Every single joke they make in the movie does not hit. It misses. They were going for like a romantic comedy, and they completely missed. Another thing is, all the sports lines are garbage. We're both sports comm majors. One thing you'll notice in a bad movies, if it's like have something sporty, they'll put like slap on a Sports Center logo, just to make you think they like tried. What do you think of it?
I watched the movie too, and I saw the movie when it first came out, and then I subjected myself to more punishment for 2 hours. And I thought the same thing you did. It seemed like they brought together this all-star cast, right? Yeah. We had Jamie Foxx, Ashton Kutcher, Angelina Jolie, Taylor Swift, Taylor Lautner, and he was huge at that time. He was coming off the Twilight series, and they put them all together. They're like, hey, let's go make some magic. And it became, I'm not sure if it was like a behind-the-scenes thing, if it was like this is really poorly written, but we have millions and millions of dollars invested in the cast. And if you can't carry a movie with a cast like that, a cast of Academy Award nominated people, it's not meant to be.
I think it's more on the directors and writers on why it's so bad, or maybe the studio. But another thing is the plot's just confusing. Like, I just don't know what's happening half the time. There are a lot of random twists in this movie, and you'll see people who say they're best friends. They end up like getting together just because like they like to look at each other. You know, both are heartbroken. Someone gets dumped. Let's start dating. Another thing is Taylor Swift is not funny in this movie at all. She's actually annoying, and I kind of wish she wasn't in it, if I'm being honest. What do you think of her performance?
I'll tell you after the show, but for right now, it's been a crazy show so far. But when we come back, Austin and I will give you our what to watch, and you're watching RMU Extra.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Whatcha? Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Now, What to Watch is still here. My What to Watch is The Crew on Netflix that premiered today, right after the Daytona 500. It stars Kevin James as a NASCAR crew chief. I know it's a wild scenario. He's in charge of a team that is the laughingstock of the NASCAR Cup Series. The team rallies through adversity in the first 10 episodes of the season.
Pretty good show there, Luke. My What to Watch is Young Rock, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The show premieres at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night on NBC. It's a comedy. It follows The Rock in 2032, yes, 2032, as he prepares to run for president. And in preparation for his campaign, Johnson goes back to various points in his life, going to high school in Pennsylvania and also going to the University of Miami to play on those rock-solid football teams.
Those are awesome football teams, and we will see you in 2 weeks here on RMU Extra.